Hey, everybody, this is Dr. John, and this is the Evolved Caveman podcast. And today I want to start out with a hard and perhaps blindingly obvious truth. You cannot see your own eyebrows. You can feel them, you can assume they're there, but unless you're looking in a mirror, you're simply guessing. And that, my friends, is the essence of a psychological blind spot. Today, we're going to talk about how to identify the stuff that you don't know about yourself, using the research-based framework of organizational psychologist Tasha Eurich, one of the world's leading experts on self-awareness. And fair warning, this episode may cause temporary discomfort, sudden insight, and the urge to text an apology to someone you've been blaming for years. In other words, it's worth it. So here's the myth that's wrecking your self-awareness. Most people that I know believe this: I'm totally self-aware. Statistically speaking, that puts you in the same category as 95% of other humans. We all think we're self-aware. Here's the problem. Research shows that it's only 12 to 15% of people that actually are, which means the rest of us are walking around with a level of confidence that, let's say, is aspirational, perhaps delusional. Confidence without calibration. And the more successful, intelligent, or verbally skilled you are, the more dangerous this gets. Because you're really good at explaining your behavior or rationalizing it instead of examining it. High-functioning people are particularly good at this. We don't lack insight. We lack accurate insight. We lack honest insight. We lack aware insight. So there are two types of self-awareness, and you might be overdoing one. So according to Eurich, self-awareness comes in two major distinct forms. The first is internal self-awareness. This is how clearly you understand your values, your emotional patterns, your motivations, your reactions, and your impact on your own inner world. This is the I know why I do what I do awareness. People in therapy tend to be strong here. Overthinkers tend to be strong here. So are men who've read every self-help book, but still can't have a calm, grounded argument. The second type is external self-awareness. This is how accurately you understand how others experience you, your interpersonal impact, how you come across under stress or in an argument, and the emotional footprint that you leave behind. This is the here's what it's like to be on the other side of me awareness. And here's the kicker. These two are not strongly correlated. In other words, you can be deeply introspective and still be a nightmare to live with. Or you can be charismatic and well-liked while having zero clue what's going on inside of you. Blind spots live in the gap between these two areas. Why blind spots exist and why they're not your fault. Blind spots are not character flaws. They're features of the human nervous system. Here are a few reasons why they exist. Number one, your brain is an excellent PR firm. Your mind's job is not truth, it's protection. So your mind edits, reframes, minimizes, rationalizes, and justifies to keep your self-image firmly intact. I'm not defensive, I'm passionate. I'm not controlling, I just have high standards. I'm not emotionally unavailable, I'm easygoing. Number two, emotional threat shuts down accuracy. When feedback threatens your identity, your nervous system goes into self-defense mode. Heart rate goes up, your cortisol spikes, your listening skills jump off a cliff, and your defensiveness soars like an eagle. You stop gathering data and start building a legal defense. Number three, success makes blind spots bigger. If your behavior works professionally, socially, or financially, few will challenge it. Competence hides dysfunction. Achievement camouflages emotional immaturity. You don't get feedback because people don't want to poke the bear that signs the checks. What's more, just because you're successful in one area of life, say work, that doesn't mean you're successful elsewhere, say romantic relationships or parenting. And this is the biggest gap I see in high-achieving men. So what are some of the common blind spots? Let's see if any of these sting a little bit. You think you're, quote, direct. Others experience you as harsh and critical. You think you're, quote, laid back. Others experience you as disengaged or inauthentic. You think you're, quote, logical. Others experience you as emotionally cold and hard to connect with. You think you're, quote, helpful. Others experience you as overly controlling. You think you're, quote, easygoing. Others experience you as flaky. If your reaction is, that's not me, congratulations, you might have just found your blind spot. So here is the most important question you're not asking. Most people ask, why? Why did I do that? That question often leads to rationalizations and spinning stories. You're attempting to defend your behavior, but you're not in quest of actual truth. Here's a much better question. What can I learn from this? Why focuses on identity? What focuses on information? What makes you defensive? Why makes you defensive? What makes you curious? Why traps you in the past? What points you forward? If you want fewer blind spots, you must trade self-justification for self-discovery. Let me say that again. For fewer blind spots, you have to let go of defensiveness and choose an attitude of self-discovery and curiosity. So how do you actually identify your blind spots? Let's get practical. Step 1, you want to find the right mirror. Stop asking everyone. Stop crowdsourcing your identity. We're not aiming for likes on TikTok. We're looking for real self-awareness and honest feedback. You want 2 to 5 people who know you well, are emotionally honest, have seen you under stress or during disagreements, in other words, you at your worst, and who are not dependent on you for survival or approval. These are your data sources. Step 2, ask better feedback questions. Do not ask, how am I doing? Any feedback for me? What do you think of me? These invite politeness and confirmation bias. Ask these instead. What's one thing I do under stress that makes things more difficult? Where do you think I'm not seeing myself clearly? What's it like to disagree with me? And what impact do I have when I'm frustrated? Then, shut up. No explaining, no correcting, no clarifying. You want to practice listening non-defensively. Take notes like your growth and your future success depend on it, because they do. Step 3, look for patterns, not praise or attacks. 1 comment is an opinion. 3 similar comments, that's a pattern. 5, that's a flashing neon sign. Blind spots repeat. If different people in different contexts describe the same issue, the same pattern, that's not coincidence. That's your eyebrow. Step 4, separate intent from impact. Intent lives in your head. Impact lives in other people's nervous systems. Impact is how you make others feel. You're responsible for both. If your intent is good, but your impact is harmful, the work is not explaining your intent better. The work is changing your behavior. Part 7, the emotional skill that makes all this possible. Identifying blind spots requires emotional regulation. If you can't tolerate discomfort, criticism, embarrassment, shame, or ego bruising, you will never see clearly. Growth is not about thinking harder. It's about developing emotional maturity. It's about staying present while your self-image gets gently punched in the face. Breathe, slow down, stay curious, Be open. Genuinely consider the feedback. This is what emotional maturity looks like. Part 8, turning a blind spot into a growth edge. Once you identify a blind spot, do this. 1, name it clearly. I get flooded and I shut down during conflict. I get sarcastic when I feel cornered. I interrupt when I'm anxious. I am uncomfortable sharing my feelings. 2, track it in real time, not afterward, in the moment when things are tense. And to begin with, you might have to track it after the fact and go back and think, how did I respond in that situation? And how could I improve it? But as you get this down, you want to move forward to tracking it in real time. 3, pick one behavioral experiment. That's all it is. Just a trial, an experiment. 1 pause, 1 breath, 1 new response. For instance, if you have a habit of people pleasing, pause before you answer someone's request. Ask yourself, is this something I have time to do? Is this something I will be resentful about later? Is this something I am self-abandoning to agree to? If yes, to any of those, politely and firmly say, no, thank you, or I'm sorry, I'm not available for that right now. You don't need an explanation. A simple no is enough. For some people, you might have to repeat the no a few times. So why this matters more than you think? Blind spots erode trust. They kill intimacy. They stall leadership. They repeat the same arguments for decades. They get handed down to your kids like emotional heirlooms. Seeing yourself clearly is not self-obsession. It's relational responsibility. It's emotional maturity. It's breaking generational patterns, and it's courage in action. Speaking of actually seeing yourself clearly, Jory and I have just launched something I've been building for a long time, and I'm really excited about it. Initially, I wanted a way for men to safely get access to the best tools without any of the embarrassment or shame that comes with going to a therapist or asking for help. It's called Proximity Coaching, and it's available at proximitycoaching.com. And here's what makes it different from every other AI tool out there. It's not just AI, it's hybrid, and that matters. Here's how it works. There are 3 online bi-weekly coaching groups, a group for men, a group for women, and a group for couples. Each one meets live twice a month with real humans, real conversation, real accountability, and real connection. And between those sessions, you've got an AI-fueled coach trained on thousands of hours of our work, Jory's and mine, decades of psychological experience, ready to go in your pocket 24/7. No scheduling, no wait list. It's available whenever something comes up that you don't want to sit with alone until the next group. Right after a disagreement with your spouse, it's ready. Prepping for a difficult conversation with your manager, it's there. Right after you've lost your temper, it's got you. Mind spinning at 2 a.m., we've got you covered. Proxy He is the men's coach, trained in all the areas you need: irritability, stress, work, relationships, communication, everything we do on the show. Proxy She is Jory's coach for women, her voice, her frameworks, her body of work. Proxy We is the couples coach, built from everything me and Jory know together for the moments when you need some backup before the next group session. The goal of all of it, the coaching app, the live groups, the whole thing, is better connection to yourself and to the people who matter most to you. That's the work. And now it's available in a format that actually meets you where and when you need it, not simply once a week for an hour. ProximityCoaching.com. Go take a look, try out the free trial. All right, back to blind spots. If you take nothing else from today, please remember this. Self-awareness is not simply knowing who you are. It's knowing how you make others feel. And the bravest thing you can say is not, this is who I am. It's, this is what I'm learning about myself, and I'm willing to evolve. Stop with the "this is just who I am, love me for me" rationalization for anti-relational behavior. That's the work. That's the path. That's the system upgrade. And hey, once you finally see your eyebrows, you can get rid of the unibrow on purpose. Until next time, I'll see you. Be well. This is Dr. John, signing off.